Hi there, my name is Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And big news happened yesterday. Big-ish news. Chris Eccleston has announced he's returning to the role of Doctor Who for Big Finish. This video is not about that at all, because they didn't tell us anything. Like, nothing at all. Like they told us Chris Eccleston's coming back. For me, it's much more important, like, who's writing it, who's the creative vision behind it, what they're going to be doing it, where it's going to be set in the Ninth Doctor's timeline. Like, honestly, this is an aside, I would say, but you know, the thing I think that's exciting about Eccleston coming back is if you go back and watch that first season, you know, his character had a very tight arc, like a very tight growth thing. It started at one place and ended at another place. And I think the real tragedy of him leaving was you didn't get to see where that arc was going to go. It was essentially, a post-traumatic stress disorder Doctor, post-Time War. And the other thing about it is it's the most working class Doctor Who we've ever had. It's like it was shameless does Doctor Who, and it actually really worked. But I don't think it would have worked for more than one or two seasons. But yeah. Anyway, so that's it. But this video is not about that at all. This video is about my good friend Noel. My good friend Noel was less than enthused. He's like, it's a cash grab. He's feeling very down about Doctor Who in general. The people who really love this era are just terrible people. Are just absolutely terrible people. And so, he said, look, I'm not interested. I'm basically out. I can't be bothered. It might have killed it for me. And this is a mistake. Oh my God, never go on Twitter. Never go on Twitter. I'm telling you all now, if you don't go on Twitter, your life is better. And if you go on it, just enough so you keep it at arm's length, that makes life so much better. Don't go on Twitter. It's full of crazy, very, very, very bad people. That's the way I would describe that. But anyway, so on Twitter, these people who obsess about Noel. I mean, like, honestly, if you're focusing on other people throughout your life, that's probably not what you want to be doing. That's probably, I would say, but they're obsessive and they were dancing. They were just being really vile. Because why are they being vile? Because they're vile, sad people. Listen, this is always good advice. When somebody's being a terrible person, the best thing to do, if you can do it, is try and, I think inside everybody there is intrinsic goodness. I call it a soul. But try and see that goodness within them, and then say look, they are, there's levels of confusion and they don't understand what they're doing, and they really don't, because they're basically morons. Anyway, but that led me to this other thing on somebody's Twitter feed. I'm not going to name him. He's quite, he's got a very big YouTube channel. He's a recent big advocate of the current era, and he has those insanities that go along with it. Honestly, nothing against the guy. I mean, I think he's a bit of a ringleader, but like, honestly, nothing against the guy other than he's a bit of an idiot, which is what we're essentially going to be speaking about here. But before we get there, can I ask you guys, can you hit that subscribe button? Thank you very much. I am very grateful for each and every one of you that subscribes, and that is actually a very true statement. I'm very, very grateful for everybody who subscribes. If you subscribe, you can enter my weekly competitions. I should have done the giveaway last night, but I did two podcasts kind of back to back. I did three, actually. I did a half-hour live stream on my own because I just, it was a chill stream. Then I had this other Star Trek podcast I was on, so that was like an hour and a half. And then by the time I got to Noah, the evening, I was out of energy. I was totally out of energy. Anyway, the prize this week, which I'm giving away tomorrow. You've got 2 more days on it. I'm giving away tomorrow. It will be August 11th when I do my live stream at 5 o'clock. Judgde Dredd America. This has been a very, very popular one, I have to tell you. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, and in the comments leave the hashtag democracy now. If you've never read Judgde Dredd before, if you've read it before, you haven't seen it for a while, it is fantastic. This is prime Judgde Dredd. Great action, great art, and really, kind of interesting questions about totalitarianism and democracy, existing together. Fine. So so please subscribe. Thank you very much. Fine. So let's start looking at this little Twitter thread that I saw, which I just went, this is insane. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Listen, I'm not ranking on anybody. I'm not going to rank on the guy who did it. I don't think he's malicious. I mean, I might be. I haven't seen him be malicious. I've seen people who like him be malicious. I just think he's a bit dumb. So why is it you can be a bit dumb? How do you go through life being a bit dumb? And that's by having no objectivity. So this is what I would recommend to everyone. This is just good advice, right? Good advice. Have something called the tripod of objectivity in your life, which means you have 3 relationships. And minimally, you may have more versions of each one, but you have 3 essential relationships that everybody needs in everybody's life. You need a mentor. You need somebody you look up to, somebody who is a little bit further down the road to you, and somebody you can like bounce things off, right? You can say, "Is this what do you think?" And they got to be honest with you. I have to tell you. I remember one of my first jobs right out of like rabbinical school, rabbinical seminary. I was working for this other rabbinical school in America, and they had like this rabbi who's really a genius. He was an absolute genius. Was the head rabbi. It's called the Rosh Hashiva. Yeah, he was a real absolute genius. But he had no objectivity in his life. He only surrounded him with people who would tell him he's great and agree with him, right? So that's not good. That's not good. Don't be in a bubble. Tripod objectivity. Firstly, have somebody who's like a mentor, somebody further down the road than you. Go and find somebody. It's good advice. I'm telling you. It makes your life better. Have a friend. Have somebody on the same level of you in life. Have somebody who you can. So a friend who will be honest with you and say, "Listen, I don't agree. I don't agree. I am his friend. I will always have his back. He feels this Paul McGann thing is not Paul McGann. This Chris Eccleston is a bit of a desperate cash grab. I don't see it that way at all. I think it's they've been after Chris Eccleston to do this for a long time, right? And I think for 15 years around there. They've been asking him to do it a long time. It's no secret that he was very hurt by the time in Doctor Who, and he spent 15 years healing, like literally 15 years healing. And I think part of that healing has come from interacting with the fans and seeing just the love that that we have them. So listen. Friends can disagree, and it's good to have somebody on your level who will tell you that they disagree with you, and they're still your friend. I still have Noel's back. I love Noel. Which is basically what that's what they make. So you'd have a mentor, you have somebody on the side, a friend, and you have somebody who you are mentoring, somebody you are ahead in life. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you are in life. You can always give somebody a bit of a helping hand of your experience, of your wisdom, because everybody has it, right? And if you have that. You don't become a moron. You could be, but that's why I think Twitter and social media in general is terrible because it creates bubbles. And I keep trying to get people from the supporters of this era to engage with me and interact, and they all like, you're not gonna get your clicks off me. You're not gonna make money. I'm like, no, it's all excuse. They know they are holding on to a ridiculous point of view that doesn't bear any merit whatsoever. They know that. They know it's not successful. And which we're going to see. We're going to go through all the greatest hits right here. Fine. So it starts off here. And again, if you work out who this is, please don't contact him. Don't give him a hard time. Honestly, you got to assume everybody on Twitter is mentally ill and malicious. Even if they're not, just assume that they are, unless you know otherwise. So fine. So he is very upset about this clip from a radio show. I'll read the tweet and then we'll play the clip together. He goes, "Notice how Paul doesn't specify what he means by woke. Notice how even the host don't remotely press him or ask him follow-up questions or try to get a basic fundamental details." Okay, fine. Before I go forward, we're just going to play this. We're just going to play this together, and then we will see. We will start to dissect. Let me turn the sound up a little bit. Doink. I might move this over here. That kind of fits better, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. We like that. Fine. So let's. Is the sound turned up? Sound turned. Let's press play.
Well, there's two things, but I just want to pick up. You mentioned Doctor Who there, actually, and I used to be a Doctor Who fan until it became woke trash. So that's a good reason.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just garbage. And the other thing is, I just want to applaud your station because you guys are the voice of common sense. Like wherever, I rarely listen. I can't watch the BBC. I can't listen to BBC Radio, and I can't listen to that other crappy station that's in London.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. I know what I mean.
Don't mention it. Well, that's what we try to do, Paul. We try to keep in touch with what real people are thinking.
Keep it real, man.
Keeping it real. Keep it common sense. This is the home of common sense. You're quite right. Because more and more in this country, I mean, let's think about Doctor Who. Where's the common sense in the production of that programme? It's produced by mad people for no one to be entertained by.
Yeah.
the viewing figures for that show, when you think of where that program was 5-6 years ago, and like getting 10 million viewers, I think, under the David Tennant, Matt Smith years, and now like I think 3 million tuned into the season finale. 3 million. That's a huge drop. But in comparison to where we are now, it's nothing really.
So anyway, that's the. Let me close that up. Doink. Yeah. So okay, fine. So again, let's read this again. Notice how Paul doesn't specify what he means by woke. Okay. This is basically what they always do. Okay, citation, please. Can I have a citation for your opinion? Okay, and the reason you don't understand it, because you won't talk to anybody outside your bloody bubble. I'm sorry. Doctor Who is woke. Now, what does that mean? What does woke mean? It means that this storytelling, as far as I can see, is secondary, and primary, it's using it as a platform, much as Alex Kurtzman over at Star Trek said. They're using it as a platform for ideological and political platforming, which means if you agree with that ideological platforming, you're gonna love this Doctor Who, regardless of how bad it is. So you see, I think there's two things going on with this era. Firstly, it's being used as a political platform, and if you don't necessarily agree with the politics that it's doing, then you're gonna find it less enjoyable. Now, this was also true, I think, of season 10, which is my favorite Capaldi season. I love Capaldi. Right, I do love Capaldi, but I found the stories entertaining. So that's the second thing. The stories are just really, really boring and bad. Now, that I'm not going to give a citation for that. I'm not going to prove that. That's called an opinion. When I watch the show, I fall asleep. It's very, very deathly dull, And the only thing you really, I think people can like about it is when they put forward these woke points. Like, honestly, Are you trying to tell me that Joe Martin's casting was colorblind? Really? Timeless Children, she was described as a beautiful brown girl. We shouldn't be looking at people's skin color. That's weird. That's wrong. That's racist. That's called woke. That's what woke means. So that's what they mean. So why didn't they ask them follow-up details? Much in the same way in the 80s when people talked about how Doctor Who was cheap. And people didn't go, citation, please. What's the proof of it's cheap? And people had the perception that the scenery wobbled. Well, in fact, it really never did. I mean, I can remember times like in Pyramids of Mars, famously, Sutekh stands up and there's a hand holding his cushion down that goes away. Yeah, there are gaffes. There are flubs, there are things like that. There is a basic, but I don't remember the scenery ever wobbling, but that was the perception that it has. And this is the public perception that the British public has of Doctor Who. It's a woke, dour, preach, bore. That's what it is. Now, I understand you don't like that reality, so that's what it means, okay? Because why didn't they ask them a follow-up question? There's no need. Somebody goes, the sky is very blue today. They said, really? What do you mean by blue? No, if it's something that it's a agreed reality that everybody agrees on, then everybody agrees on it, okay? Yeah, that's it. So this starts a Twitter thread. Don't go on Twitter. Don't contact these people. Okay, if it's red, it's going to be the guy who started it. To reiterate, if you dislike the current era, that's fine. I don't think it's fine with you. I don't think it's fine. I think you really don't like people disliking the current era. But let's see. But if you use the term woke or any other useless buzzword, how is it useless? I think it describes it really well. It disguises it really well. It's again, when you don't have colourblind casting, when you use it, when you agenderize with your episodes, which you, Orphan 55, anyone? Timeless Children. Timeless Children was not an entertaining show for me. It was an episode where they destroyed Doctor Who canon so they could add in more people or more less white, so there'd be less white men be Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is a cultural icon, and they feel that if people watching it aren't a white man, they won't be able to like or relate to it because they're morons who never speak to me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly. If somebody's a black person, I can't relate to them, really. I think you'll find I can. 7 Years a Slave was the story of a black person essentially kidnapped and forced to be a slave for 7.5 years. And I'm a white guy, and I empathise with him. I didn't feel guilt because there's nothing to do with me. I empathised with him, and I said, even though he had a different life experience, that's something that I think cinema and TV is actually good. It's introducing you to people with different life experiences, different worldviews, but they don't like that. So again, woke isn't useless. It's not a useless buzzword. Then I will immediately doubt whether or not you're approaching the discussion in bad faith. Honestly, I always doubt you. I think if you talked in good faith, you will come and have a conversation. Well, I would love to talk to you about this. I would absolutely adore to talk to you about this. I've never, in the past 2 or 3 years, ever met someone who complained about wokeness who didn't immediately buckle when asked for... No! Okay, that's because you won't talk to anyone, you stupid idiot! Come and talk to me any freaking time. I will never immediately... Okay, I will tell you exactly what I mean in detail, but whenever it gets there, you block people because you go, no! That's what you guys do. That's never happened, okay? And I challenge anybody watching this, please come and talk to me. Please come, and I will discuss it with you. I will not buckle, okay, when I ask follow-up questions and started complaining about women, people of colour. That you don't understand. This bloke is a bit of a moron, right? On one of my videos, he didn't understand how I could say I think racism is not a major factor in the Western world. But I have experienced racism mainly from people on the left wings of society. People. Speaking of somebody who has experienced massive amounts of racism from mainstream left-wing parties and their supporters over the last few years. People exactly like this. And then when you get into it, they freak. That's when he blocked me. This guy, because no, don't do bad. They deal with reality in the same way. But listen, that's why you want to ask me any question. What do I mean by woke? What do I mean by... I'll go for it in detail. I'll go for episode by episode if you want. I honestly didn't think the wokeness really noticeably kicked in until the 4th episode. I mean, like, Rosa was woke, but, you can get one... I think you can get one story like that a year and have it mean something. When you have, when you make them all of them, none of them mean anything. And actually, I think it's just using it to, you're tokenizing people at that point, which I really do. I feel that that's totally racist. So no one's complaining about there being women, people of color, or Muslims in Doctor Who. Well, I'm sure some are, but most people are complaining that there has to be. Again, that you lose colorblind casting. You say you cast somebody as as a black woman, right? Rather than being a person. Right, that I don't like tokenizing. So and again, they didn't understand. So this guy couldn't understand why I thought racism is not a major force in the Western world. Honestly, do you know many people who can walk around saying I don't like people with that skin color? Blah. I mean, black people can do that in America about white people, but certainly not the other way around, right? If you have anybody walk around saying that, they're reviled, they're hated. It's just not reality. But reality is a bit of a problem for these guys. That's why basic follow-up questions and specifics are key. No. This is what you do. This is disingenuous. He's talking in a macro. He's talking in an overview. It feels woke. It feels preachy. And then you'll drill down to minute details that aren't preachy and ask them to justify it. That's your bullcrap. Disingenuous. And you would know this if you didn't live in a bubble. And again, I'm inviting you to come and talk. And they all think it's a trick. No, being wrong isn't a problem, right? So this guy says, I'm actually sick of people saying Tenancy was better because the ratings were higher. No. That's not true. Nobody says that. People are saying the ratings were higher because Tenancy was better. Not Tenancy was better because the ratings were higher. The ratings were higher because Tenancy was better. You get the difference? They probably don't because they're morons. One, I play Netflix and other streaming was barely a thing, and it was still relatively new. It was still more popular by every metric, significantly more popular. Relatively. Two, these people clearly don't know about viewing figures. What do you mean we don't know about them? I listen, I can tell you them in detail. Okay, listen, you guys, I guess I got to pull up this chart then. It's To reiterate the point, here we go. This is a recent chart that I put together. I gotta go over here. I go doink. We go. Was it? Here we go. Let's open this up. Yeah, I'll make it a bit smaller so we can see it better. Now the blue is Capaldi's season 10, which Doctor Who has been compared to. That was the lowest rated in the current era, and then the purple is season 12. Now again, I just want to zoom in on this. This is a really important detail. Which how do I do this? I do go like over here. Okay, look at the trajectory. This is important, right? This is important. The Capaldi's lowest rated episode, 5.12, was the Eaters of Light, right? That happened in a hot June summer's day. It was very low TV viewing in general, and it had, I think, about 2.5 to 3 million people on catch up. Now they have like maybe 300,000 people catch up because people just aren't interested in catching up. And this was just like kind of a filler episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest episode. Survival, written by the same author, was much better than this, I think. Anyway, look, I always loved Capaldi's performance, but it wasn't like must-see TV. It wasn't like season finale like this was. That was heavily promoted. The Timeless Children. So you see, you got you had the Sidemen coming back for the Villa Dati. It was heavily promoted. People thought maybe Captain Jack's coming back then, and they saw it, and no, they didn't like it, and they didn't like it. And meow. You see the trajectory that the rate of decline increased as the show went on, rather than decreased. That's not good. That's not good. That's maybe what you need to understand about ratings. Okay. Fine. So now, they go, whoa, bingo. They go right into the tropes because they don't know how. Because they know how they'll sound. I don't like it being woke equals I don't like the Doctor's a woman. No. Again, I was okay. I was really okay with Jodie's casting. I was a bit skittish that it might be political correctness gone mad, but I was open. I was excited for it. It took me to episode 5 after the incredibly divisive, hateful episode of Arachnids in the UK, which was boring as hell. I even gave them a pass on that. I even gave them a pass on Arachnids in the UK because anybody can screw up, have a crap episode. But that was the norm. Arachnids in the UK was woke. It spent a lot of the time making a villain to be a parody of the President of the United States, who they clearly hate even though and then they made him not even a villain. They just made it boring. That's what their Doctor Who is. Okay, fine. Equals, I don't like the Doctor Woman. No. Citation, please. Whoever you are, come on my channel. Ask me this to my face. I don't like it. There's so many brown people. No. Nobody cares. Go back and watch Doctor Who in 2005, right? Nobody's cared about skin colour. Nobody complained about skin colour. And honestly, the Patterson Joseph, who was hotly tipped to be the 11th Doctor, I thought would have been a great choice. Actually, I think it would have been a great choice instead of Colin Baker. That's the time to have a black actor. That's when it actually meant anything. That's what an irrelevancy skin colour is today. I'm sorry, but that's just I don't like so many brown people, and I don't like it's challenging my entrenched viewpoints and perceptions. Yeah, my entrenched viewpoints and perceptions, I like to be entertained. I don't like to be lectured to. I don't like it to be boring. Harder to be taken with any legitimacy that way. See, this is why they don't talk to you. This is why they don't engage with you, because you will just call out their boy. And here's the thing. These Twitter warriors, these keyboard warriors, the reason they don't want to talk, the reason that they don't want to verbalize this is not because they will just sound so ridiculous, right? Could you imagine somebody goes into a bookstore and they pick up a book and says, this book here, the person who wrote it 17 years ago made a joke about gay people. Could you imagine they did that in real life? People were like, yeah, okay. What? A joke about gay people. Are you on the right side of history? This is who they are. Morons beyond morons. And then he goes, I agree with you, and politics has always been a huge part of Doctor Who. That's absolutely true, but it's also storytelling has also been a huge part of Doctor Who. So now he's saying politics is a huge part of Doctor Who. So is it woke or is it not woke? So now they're these I don't know, which anyone making the argument tends to conveniently ignore. No, I've never ever ignored that. Love Happiness Patrol, love the Peloton stories, love anything by Malcolm Hughes. Really, never ignored it. Quite enjoy it. I just feel that some of these themes in previous years were better explored and integrated with more subtlety. Yeah, in other words, it was a better show. It was written better. So he comes back and says, I think most current eras have their hits and misses on this front. I can't think of any hits this current era has. I can't think of any time that I would want to watch this. I mean, her performance is just dire. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Which is like, there's so many things going against it. It's boring. It's preachy. And it's terrible central performance, right? Like, it's just like, who wants to see Dr. Karen, Dr. Mum? She's so unconvincing as she's terrible. She's just terrible. Which again, opinion statement. Again, they keep wanting these opinions to be fact. No, fact. No. I think she's terrible, and I think a lot of people agree with me because they don't want to watch it. Have hits and misses. Okay. And also, like I said in my Orphan 55 review, I don't think subtle automatically equals good. I haven't seen his Orphan 55 review, but is he saying that was subtle or good? I don't know. It was dire. Orphan 55, by the way, is the episode that would have made me stop watching Doctor Who had I not been reviewing it for the time. It is the episode where I said, this is not Doctor Who. So this is what I'm doing. Now. I've re-edited Twice Upon a Time. So as Capaldi starts to regenerate, the Drenger happens fades to white and then cuts to the TARDIS floating in space. TARDIS exterior, boom, into titles. That way, either way, if they have Doctor Who that is watchable or is like Doctor Who in the future, if that ever happens, right, I will be able to cauterize it some way and make it so we introduce this guy without having to see any or whoever it is, without having to see any Jodie handover. I could totally do that. And if they never make good Doctor Who again, which is a real possibility, it's very sad, but it's a real possibility, which is where I think Noel is. If they never make good Doctor Who again, then that's where it ends. And hopefully sometime in the future, 10, 20, 30 years from now, somebody go, remember Doctor Who? Remember that show that was really good? Wouldn't it be great to bring that back? Wouldn't it be great? And that's where my hopes is. My hopes or my hope? I think a bit of both. There you go. My name is Felix Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.